Imagine spending $8,000 on a battery, only to find out a $90 tank sitting in your backyard could have done almost the same job. That is not a joke, and it is not clickbait. It is a question that thousands of homeowners are quietly asking right now as solar panels get cheaper, but battery prices refuse to drop. Somewhere between a garage in rural Texas and a lab testing pressurized steel, an old idea is being reconsidered, and the numbers behind it are stranger than anyone expected. Stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly which one of these two systems actually makes sense for your home, your budget, and your future. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we take confusing money decisions and make them simple, hit subscribe right now, because this channel exists to save you from expensive mistakes before you make them. Let's start with the obvious contender, the one every solar installer will push on you first, the Tesla Powerwall. It is sleek, it is quiet, it fits on a wall like a piece of modern art, and it promises to keep your lights on when the grid goes down. But here is the part most sales pitches skip over. A single Powerwall costs around $8,000 installed, sometimes more depending on your state, your electrician, and how many units you need to actually run a full house through a multi-day outage. And that number is just the beginning of the story, not the end of it. Because lithium batteries, no matter how advanced, degrade. Every single charge and discharge cycle wears them down a little. After 10 years, many owners report their battery holding somewhere between 50 and 70% of its original capacity. That means the battery you paid full price for today will quietly become a smaller, weaker version of itself over time. And there's nothing you can do to stop that process. It is built into the chemistry. Now here is where things get interesting, because a growing number of off-grid homeowners have started looking backward instead of forward. Instead of chasing the newest battery technology, they are experimenting with something almost embarrassingly simple: compressed air. The idea is not new. Compressed air has been used to store and move energy for over a century, in railroads and factories, even in old London, which ran an entire compressed air network through its streets decades ago. The modern version of this idea is almost laughably cheap on paper. Take a steel tank, the same kind used for propane, and instead of filling it with gas for your barbecue, you fill it with air compressed by a small electric pump connected to your solar panels. When you need power at night, that compressed air is released through a motor, which spins a generator, which sends electricity into your home. A basic tank like this can be found for around $90. That is not a marketing gimmick. That is the actual price of the container. Suddenly, that $8,000 comparison starts to feel very lopsided. But before you go online and order a stack of propane tanks, there's something you need to understand, because this is exactly where most videos on this topic stop being honest with you. Compressing air is not free, and it is not perfectly efficient. When you squeeze air into a smaller space, a large portion of the energy you put in does not become stored pressure. It becomes heat. That heat escapes into the surrounding air, especially if the tank sits outside exposed to the weather. Once that heat is gone, the pressure inside the tank drops with it, which means the energy you originally stored quietly disappears before you ever get to use it. Then, when you release that air to spin a motor, the reverse problem happens. The air inside the tank cools down rapidly, which reduces the pressure even further and cuts into how much usable energy actually comes out the other end. In real-world testing, this back-and-forth process, compression losing energy as heat, expansion losing even more as cooling, can eat up a shocking percentage of the electricity you originally put in. Some engineers estimate that for every 10 units of energy from your solar panels, only 1 or 2 units make it through a basic home compressed air system and actually reach your appliances as usable electricity. That is not a small inefficiency. That is the difference between a system that works and a system that quietly fails you when you need it most. This is the part where most viewers start to feel like they have been misled by flashy headlines promising a miracle fix for expensive batteries. But stay with me, because the story does not end with compressed air being useless. It ends with compressed air being situational, which is a very different thing. There are places where the system genuinely shines. Rural properties with plenty of space, workshops that already use compressed air tools, off-grid cabins where noise and space are less of a concern than raw upfront cost. And there are places where it completely falls apart. Small suburban homes, anyone hoping to run a full refrigerator, air conditioner, and lighting system through the night on a single tank. The size of tank required to match even a fraction of a Powerwall's storage capacity is far larger than most people expect, often requiring multiple large tanks buried underground, plus a compressor rated for continuous use, plus moisture filters to stop water from forming inside the tank every time it cools. Add those parts together and that $90 sticker price starts climbing toward numbers that look a lot less shocking and a lot more realistic. So which one actually wins? That question does not have a simple yes or no answer, and anyone who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. What it really comes down to is your specific situation, your space, your climate, your tolerance for maintenance, and how much you value simplicity over efficiency. In the next part of this video, we are going to break down the real cost per kilowatt hour of both systems side by side, factor in what happens after 10 years of use, and reveal which option actually makes financial sense, depending on exactly where you live and how you plan to use it. Because the answer might not be the one either side of this debate wants you to hear. Let's talk numbers, because numbers are where most people either get convinced or get burned. When you compare a Powerwall to a compressed air setup, you cannot just look at the sticker price and call it a day. You have to look at cost per kilowatt hour delivered over the entire lifespan of the system, because that is the number that actually determines whether you saved money or wasted it. A single Tesla Powerwall stores around 13.5 kilowatt hours of usable energy, over a warranted lifespan of roughly 10 years. And assuming daily charging and discharging, that battery might cycle through several thousand kilowatt hours of total energy delivered before its capacity noticeably drops. When you divide the $8,000 price by that lifetime energy output, the actual cost per kilowatt hour becomes a lot more reasonable than the upfront price suggests. It is not cheap, but it is predictable, and predictability is worth something when you're planning your home's power for the next decade. Now do the same math for compressed air, and the picture gets messy fast. Remember that efficiency loss we talked about earlier, where only a fraction of the original solar energy survives the trip through compression and expansion. That means to deliver the same 13.5 kilowatt hours that Powerwall provides, your compressed air system needs to draw in far more raw solar energy than the battery does, sometimes 5 to 10 times more, just to make up for what gets lost as heat and pressure drop. That means a bigger solar array, which means more panels, more wiring, more mounting hardware, and more space on your roof or your land. Suddenly, the humble $90 tank is only one small piece of a much larger and more expensive puzzle. The tank was never the real cost. The real cost was always the compressor, the motor, the moisture control system, the oversized solar array needed to feed it all, and the ongoing maintenance required to keep mechanical parts from rusting, leaking, or breaking down entirely. And maintenance is where this comparison gets even more lopsided in a way most people do not expect. A lithium battery like a Powerwall has almost no moving parts. It sits quietly on a wall, does its job, and requires essentially zero physical maintenance for its entire working life. A compressed air system is the exact opposite. It is a mechanical system, which means it behaves like every other mechanical system in your life. Your car, your air conditioner, your washing machine. It needs attention. Compressors wear out. Motors need lubrication. Pressure tanks, depending on your local regulations, may need to be inspected or tested periodically to make sure they have not weakened over time, because a tank holding hundreds of pounds of pressure that fails is not a small problem. It is a serious safety hazard. Add to that the noise, because compressors are not quiet, and air motors running at high pressure can sound like a small workshop operating in your backyard every single night while your system stores energy for the next day. This is the point where a lot of off-grid homeowners start asking a different question entirely. Not which system is cheaper on paper, but which system fits the actual life they want to live. If you already enjoy working with mechanical systems, if you live somewhere remote enough that noise is not an issue, if you have the space for large tanks and enjoy the process of building and maintaining your own power setup, compressed air can feel less like a burden and more like a hobby that happens to power your home. But if you want something you install once and mostly forget about, something that quietly works in the background while you focus on your actual life instead of babysitting a mechanical energy system, the battery starts looking like the smarter long-term choice, even with its higher upfront cost. There is also a factor almost nobody talks about, and it is the one that pushed a surprising number of preppers and rural homeowners back toward old-fashioned battery chemistry entirely, just not lithium. Remember those Edison-style nickel-iron batteries mentioned by long-time off-grid users. Unlike lithium, which slowly degrades no matter how carefully you use it, these older battery designs are known for lasting 50, sometimes over 100 years, with basic maintenance like topping off water levels every so often. They are heavier, bulkier, and definitely not as sleek as a Powerwall mounted on a garage wall, but for someone thinking in decades instead of years, that kind of lifespan changes the entire financial equation. It reframes the comparison from battery versus compressed air into something bigger, upfront cost versus lifetime cost versus maintenance effort versus how long you actually plan to rely on the system before replacing it. And that is really the heart of this whole debate. Every option on the table, lithium batteries, compressed air, older nickel-iron designs, comes with a trade-off, and none of them are free of weaknesses. Lithium is convenient, but degrades. Compressed air is cheap in raw materials, but loses efficiency and demands constant mechanical attention. Older battery technology lasts incredibly long, but takes up space and requires manual upkeep. Most modern homeowners are not used to providing. The question was never really which system wins in some universal sense. The real question, the one hiding underneath that flashy title comparing a $90 tank to an $8,000 battery, is which trade-off you are personally willing to live with, based on your space, your patience, your budget, and how much you value simplicity over long-term savings. So where does that leave someone standing in their backyard right now? Solar panels already installed, staring at the sky, trying to decide how to store that energy for the night ahead. It leaves them with a decision that depends entirely on their own life, not on which YouTube video sounded more exciting. In the final part of this breakdown, we are going to bring everything together, walk through exactly which type of homeowner should choose which system, reveal a scenario where combining both approaches might actually make more sense than picking just one, and give you a clear, honest answer to the question this entire video was built around. Because by the end, you will not just know which system technically wins on paper. You will know which one actually wins for your specific situation, and that is a very different and far more useful kind of answer. So after all these numbers, all these trade-offs, and all these honest warnings, where does the truth actually land? Here is the answer nobody wants to give you because it does not fit neatly into a 10-second soundbite. There is no universal winner between a $90 propane tank and an $8,000 Powerwall because these two systems were never really built to solve the same problem for the same person. They solve similar problems for very different kinds of people. And pretending otherwise is exactly how so many homeowners end up disappointed after spending their hard-earned money chasing a headline instead of a solution that actually fits their life. If you are someone who wants simplicity, someone who wants to install a system once and never think about it again, someone who values quiet operation and does not want to become an amateur mechanic in their spare time, the Powerwall or any quality lithium battery system is almost certainly the smarter choice for you. Yes, it costs more upfront. Yes, it will slowly lose some capacity over the years, but it does its job quietly, reliably, and without demanding your attention. And for most modern homeowners living busy lives, that convenience is worth every extra dollar spent. You are not just buying stored energy, you are buying peace of mind. And peace of mind rarely comes cheap in any part of life. But if you are someone who lives remotely, someone who already has space, someone who genuinely enjoys building, tinkering, and maintaining mechanical systems, and someone who is willing to trade a bit of noise and regular upkeep for a much lower upfront cost, compressed air stops looking like a gimmick and starts looking like a legitimate option. It will never match the raw efficiency of a lithium battery, and anyone claiming otherwise is not being honest with you. But efficiency is not the only currency that matters in the real world. Upfront affordability matters too, especially for someone building an off-grid life on a tight budget, piece by piece, tank by tank, without access to $8,000 sitting in a bank account. And then there is a third path, one that barely gets mentioned because it does not make for a dramatic headline, but it might be the smartest approach of all for a lot of people. Combining systems, using a smaller, more affordable battery for your daily essential loads, the things that need to work instantly and quietly, your refrigerator, your lights, your phone chargers, while using a compressed air setup as a secondary backup for less critical, longer duration needs, especially in situations where space and upfront cost matter more than perfect efficiency. This hybrid approach will not fit everyone, but for certain rural homeowners and preppers, it offers a kind of balance that neither system provides completely on its own. What this entire comparison really reveals is something bigger than propane tanks and battery packs. It reveals just how confusing and overwhelming the world of energy storage has become for regular people trying to make smart decisions with their own money. Companies love selling confidence, salesmen love promising simple answers, but real life rarely works that way. And the homeowners who end up happiest with their systems are not the ones who chase the flashiest headline. They are the ones who took the time to understand their own specific needs before spending a single dollar. That is exactly why breakdowns like this one matter. Because behind every big financial decision, there's usually a simpler, more honest explanation waiting to be uncovered if someone is willing to actually dig into the details instead of repeating the same hype everyone else is repeating. So now it is your turn to think about your own situation because every off-grid setup, every backyard, every budget, and every homeowner's tolerance for maintenance is different, and there's no single answer that applies to everyone watching this video right now. Maybe you are someone who has already tried one of these systems and learned lessons the hard way. Maybe you are someone still deciding between simplicity and savings. Maybe you are someone who thinks there is an even better option we have not covered here at all. Whatever your situation is, I want to hear about it because the comments section on this video is exactly where these real-world experiences turn into the most valuable part of the entire conversation. Scroll down right now and tell me which system you would actually choose for your own home, and more importantly, tell me why. Because your reasoning might help someone else watching this exact same video make a smarter decision for their own family. And if this video actually helped you see this comparison in a clearer, more honest way than anything else you have watched on this topic, do not keep that to yourself. Share it with someone you know who is struggling with the same decision, someone building their own off-grid setup, Someone tired of confusing sales pitches promising simple answers to complicated problems? A single share from you could save someone else hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars in a mistake they would have otherwise made without ever hearing this side of the story. That is genuinely the entire purpose of this channel, taking confusing financial and technical decisions and breaking them down into something simple enough for anyone to understand and act on with real confidence. So drop your comment below right now while this is still fresh in your mind. Tell me your choice, tell me your reasoning, and if you're not subscribed yet, this is exactly the kind of channel that will keep saving you from expensive mistakes long before you make them. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you in the very next one.